Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everyone. Today, we are going to delve into something that many of us are lacking, and we might not even be aware of it. Even if we are, we're not even sure how to change that. Talking about self-confidence, having that confidence in yourself, basically standing up for yourself and daring to be right, no matter what other people say. How do we gain that self-confidence? Why are many of us lacking it? Let's go into the mind today. And she's going to help us out with that. She offers psychological help for many in all different forms, all different ages as well. Her practice is called Full Moon Behavioral, and she's Dr. Elena Gherman. She's back with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve. Thank you for having me again.
Wonderful to have you back here, Elena. And this is something that stands in the way of people moving their life forward, feeling comfortable in their own skin, like they're making the decision that truly aligns with them. Why do many of us walk around with lack of self-confidence?
Well, I think it's deeply, deeply rooted in our own DNA, right? And it's not just that, but it's also our environment. It's where we come from. It's where we grew up in. And I would like to start, with the title that I thought about it. I was like, okay, should I call it Dare to Be Right, Dare to Be Wrong? And I think both of them go hand in hand, because sometimes we have to stand up for ourselves when we know we're right. But also sometimes we have to dare to be wrong. And if we are wrong, just say it, I'm wrong, because it's okay to be wrong. And that's the first example I want to give. Think about a toddler, a 2-3-year-old, right? Kids are not being told, you don't deserve love, you don't deserve toys, you don't deserve a hug. Just go away, right? We don't tell them negative things. But what is the first word that any child says? No. Right? We all struggle. If you are a parent, or if you're not a parent, I'm sure you've seen a toddler. What's the first thing they say usually before they even say mama and dada and baba and anything else? They say no. It's a negative thing that comes out first. Okay? But in the same time, they have that sense ingrained in them that everything should be theirs. They should have everything. Everything belongs to them. All the toys that they see another kid play with the toys, they reach for it.
Mine.
They want to go take
Mine.
it, right? That's mine, right? They see somebody play, they want to go play with them. They see a pool, they want to go jump in the pool. They see a lollipop or a candy, they want to go grab it. They gravitate towards this. It's all mine. I should have everything. Everything belongs to me. And it starts from there to where I'm entitled. Right? We don't learn no, but we say no. So that's the first thing I would say. We should start with that, because it's ingrained, it's in us, right? And then we challenge ourselves throughout life. And what is the next step? I would say, again, let's look at the kids. It's observation. What do kids do when they're like maybe 4 or 5? They learn shyness, right? They stand in the corner and they observe. They observe the other kids. They observe the adults. They say, okay, well, should I go? Should I talk to them? Should I reach out for that? Should I jump in the pool? Should I go grab that ball? They observe. So that's where you kind of get in between classes of people and of choices. And that's where the personalities start to come out through observation. And I think us as grown-ups have a lot to learn from that, because now we can parallel it with adults. What do adults do when we feel uncomfortable? We tend to externalize things, talk more, right? Or drink more, or do things to try to come out of our shell, instead of just like, hey, let me take a breath here. Let me think about it. Let me observe like a 5-year-old. It's really easy to see it if you think about it. But when you're in the middle of it, you lose your sense of confidence. It's like, no, I can't do that. No, I cannot show up for that interview because I'm sure I'm not going to get that job. Just like that 5-year-old who said, I'm not going to get that toy. What's the point to run for it? I'm not going to score that goal. I'm not going to go for it. You see? Maybe I'm jumping too far ahead, but
I never thought of that, never looked at it in that light. And for all those times as a parent, when your kid said, no, mine, you'd be like, now I look at it as like, good for you. Good for you. I never look at it that way. And I wonder why, like the 5 or 6-year-old, where you lean back and you're processing it, why is that happening? Why are we doing that as opposed to just standing up?
Because it's that a sense of internalizing behavior. We're starting to observe. You're going through Ericksonian stages, that what we have in psychology, to where we are starting now to observe things, and you have a sense of internalizing behavior to where you're like, okay, well now, I have a sense of the others in my life. I'm having a sense of I'm not alone, and that's where anxieties come into place, right? Depression, all kind of symptomatology that in kids, they don't manifest the same as in adults. A depressed kid won't be sad. A depressed child won't necessarily cry, okay, and tell you, I'm sad. No, a depressed kid would either isolate or act out. That's how kids show depression, okay? So that's why we as parents have to look at it and say, okay, why is my child all of a sudden misbehaving? Why are the grades going down? So the grades may be going down, not the mood, you see?
Wow.
So then we have the bullying problem, which is like, who's the bully here? Why is the bullying happening? Because my child is sat in a corner and observing and learning new behavior, or because they are lacking self-confidence?
And they wouldn't even know how to verbalize, I'm depressed.
They wouldn't.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. And then anxiety is definitely has a genetic link. It comes from your genetic makeup, but also can be very much influenced by our environment. Like if a child is constantly exposed to somebody in their immediate environment who's constantly anxious, okay, or constantly either provoking them to these anxious activities or pulling them away, try to prevent them from being exposed to these anxiety-provoking events, the child will learn that behavior. So to give you an example of some real cases, I have this family who the mother loves scary movies. And every time she watches the scary movies, she watches the movies with a 4-year-old daughter. Well, now she's bringing in the 4-year-old daughter because she's super anxious. She started to have accidents. She's acting out. She's having nightmares, all kind of symptoms that are sudden. So going through a very thorough history, well, it turns out that right after they watch the scary movie that the mother enjoys, now the daughter has manifestations. It's immediately correlated, but the mother couldn't put one and one together, right? The other thing I had not long ago, another case to where the mother was very afraid that the child would get stolen, kidnapped. So every time they would go shopping, literally the mother would not let go of this child's hand. And the child was 8 years old, pretty old, I would say, for a child to just walk around in a store by themselves or alongside a parent. So the child got to a point where he started to steal from the store. And that's how he got to the point where he was stealing stuff and putting things in the mother's purse. And that's how they got in trouble. Very interesting situation, but where the mother would just be keeping this child very, very, very in a stringent environment where the child felt like, I just want my mom to get in trouble so I can run away from her. You see, that was the child's mentality. Like, how can I get her in trouble so she can let go of me?
Wow.
You see? So it's really, really interesting to where the parents or the environment are causing certain things to where the kids are just screaming out like, I want myself. I want my personal freedom. I know what to do with myself. I'm confident that I can behave. I'm confident that I can sleep on my own. I'm confident that I can, I'm not going to run away. Or if somebody's trying to steal me, I'm going to yell out loud. But it's the parents that have an issue with self-confidence. The parent was not my patient. The child was in this particular case. But we're talking general, you see?
Wow.
So there are so many layers to where self-confidence comes into place. And you really just have to look at it to see what are we dealing with here? Why is there a lack of self-confidence? Where is it coming from? Childhood trauma, for whatever reason. It seems like we're always going there in every show, right? Childhood trauma is something that everybody should have a very thorough history every time they come in. Not every time, every patient should have a very thorough childhood trauma history, I'm sorry.
Meaning
that can really mark someone.
We should be aware of our upbringing so that we can, I call it, connect the dots. Why do we act this way now?
Mm-hmm.
And how did it connect to the childhood?
Correctly, right.
Is it as big, the childhood traumas, is it as big as we think we make it to be? Is it really piloting most things that adults do?
It is, because the way I see childhood trauma, it's almost like a set of rules of behaviors that you have within your personality, within yourself.
Sure.
It's like they have been ingrained in your own persona. Okay, just think about it. The rules that the society imposes on us when we grow up. So what are really rules, in society? That there's something that the society expects us to follow, right? And then we get criticized or punished if we don't follow them. Okay, and if we don't follow them or if we get in trouble, then the expectation is that we get punished. But then if we have something that we know, hey, this is how I grew up. This is how I've seen. This is what happened to me. This is what I've learned, what I've seen in my family. Then what is that supposed to be? I don't know any better, because my family used to hit me, used to beat me, used to abuse me, used to drink. Then what am I supposed to teach my children now? So what do you do with these rules that are already part of you? Aren't those rules? How is society supposed to know what do you have inside? It's not like when you turn 21, nobody comes and just brainwashes you and you're all nice and clean and neat and say, okay, well, now let's just download these new rules into you because now you're part of new society.
It's like, here you go. Fresh,
who knows? Maybe one day, right? AI will get plugged in.
Do I take the red pill? Do I take the blue pill?
Right.
It really is somewhat sad, at least in my view here, that relationships are ruined, opportunities are lost. A lot of things that don't support us came from our childhood, but many of us don't realize what's going on there.
Right, exactly. And it's sad to me to see many patients that go through therapy, and I get a lot of them that usually, me as a psychiatrist, they come to me on their last leg because they assume that I have somehow the magic pill and I'm supposed to just take it all away. After years, many, many years of therapy that I've been through that didn't really work, Now, okay, doc, here I am, fix me.
Yep.
Okay. And it's really sad to get to that realization, to see that it didn't work, when really what you are supposed to do, it's try to go to the bottom, try to go to the root. And all it takes for me many times is just give that very thorough explanation of what the concierge model of my practice stands for, which is really a family approach, looking at what the rules of this is, to where we look at where is all coming from. What is the essence of you're not doing well, not functioning? And then I'm gonna try. My objective is gonna be to make you functional, okay? And if to get you to be functional is gonna be, okay, well, let's get you to sleep. Let's get you to go back to work. Let's get you to enroll in school, take care of the kids, improve your relationship, or whatever it is. And then we'll give you medications for all those to work on those symptoms. That's going to get you better. And people are like, wow, I never look at it that way. Well, no, because now we're going to focus your therapy and everything else on that. And guess where is it coming from? Maybe 30 years ago or 4 years ago. And that's where we need to start looking at the very beginning, because going over your trauma that happened 40 years ago and reviewing and reminding yourself of what happened to you, it's not going to get you better. It's actually just going to get you goosebumps every time you talk about it. You go home and you're not fixed, okay? What's going to fix you, it's like closing those doors and try to do better now, okay? And recreate this present moment right now. That's how you can get over that past trauma, but acknowledging is stopping that cycle. It's a cycle. If you keep remembering that, and even worse is like they go for 2-3 months with one therapist. It doesn't work. They go to another therapist, well, they start again. They talk about the same thing. What that doesn't work, well, let me try with another one. Let's start again. That's not healing. And that does not help the self-confidence, because every day, every time you get another blow to self-confidence. Okay. And what do we really mean by self-confidence? I keep saying that. What do we mean is that you don't trust yourself. That's what self-confidence really is. You don't trust yourself as a person, as a parent, as a partner, as a human being. You don't trust yourself, that, you don't think you're good enough. You don't think you're capable. You don't think that you're worthy. You don't think that you matter. And this goes intergenerational. This goes, doesn't matter what race you are. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. Doesn't matter what language you speak. And it's so important for you to look in the mirror and to say, you know what, I like this person, I like myself, and you mentioned even last time, you said you need to know yourself. You really, really need to know yourself and like yourself and love yourself before you can turn around and share those emotions with others. And that is true.
And trust the self-confidence thing. Trust yourself. Trust that you can move forward if there's a challenge. Trust yourself in making the right decision. You think it's the right one, like you said, dare to be wrong. Might not. To the best of your ability, I think that's the right decision. If it turns out to not be the right decision, all right, I made a mistake. It's going to happen. And to understand that. But I feel a lot of us don't really know ourselves. We on the surface we do, but we don't know deeper. But all of this, Elena, what you're talking about in the therapy and everything, isn't it come down to one word, and nobody wants to hear the word work. It's work.
Work, right. And I want to circle back to the kids. Right? We started with the toddlers, we kind of went up, and I just kind of want to go back to the preteens. Because I really feel when we look at child psychiatry in general, and how the children progress through their confidence, hardest ones, because that's really the biggest transition for them. And just think about it. What are some of the most common things that we tell our preteens? That is the time when they transition through school, through some of the hardest classes. That's the time when they are probably most of them in sports or some kind of activities or so. What are the things we tell them? Oh, you need to work harder. You need to go to practice more. You need to push yourself more. You need to, let go of your, what these days, phones and iPads and all these things, right? You need to just slow down with your friends. It's a lot of pressure with all these crazy substances out there. So much pressure. And probably all they hear is negative, negative, negative. No, 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 no. Okay? What are they supposed to do? What are we teaching our preteens? Okay, what kind of adults are we expecting out of them? Okay, where is that self-confidence supposed to just bloom and grow out of them? So I just want to, hopefully, parents will listen to this and will open somebody's ears out there to just let's take a step back and think of our kids, because I really feel that we need to, if we make a change, we can make it right there, because they're very vulnerable and they're going to be our future. That's our society.
Like we said before, if we knew now what we knew then when we were younger raising our kids, I know I would do it a little bit differently.
Right?
But you learn. It's, we're all on a journey. So are our kids. You can help people virtually, right?
Yes, absolutely.
How do we find you?
The best way to find us is on website, fullmoonbehavioral.com. And there are several little clicks in there to book an appointment or reach us. And we're happy to. We already do have clients from all over the world, literally. And we're happy to be in touch with anyone.
Love it. What we talk about, the things that you bring to this show, are things that so fundamentally important, but nobody else talks about it. I don't know why they want to ignore it. And yeah, I guess a little bit deep, but it's important. This is it. This is why we do what we do. This is why we are. And by the way, I never realized young children and the no thing. They don't have a problem saying no. They don't have a problem saying, no, that's mine. I deserve that. That's mine. Call it entitlement, whatever you want. At least they take a stand and they have confidence when they're little.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right.
It's, I'm a firm believer, every child that's born, as long as they don't have health issues, whatever color, background, they're born exactly the same, like the clean slate. Everything's fresh. It's every single child. Yeah, different languages they learn, but it's amazing when you look at it that way. Thanks for everything today. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk soon, and we are coming right back.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.